CBD in the UK, a deeper look into the supplements market. How is the lack of enforcement regarding the supplements market negatively affecting public perception of the cannabinoid industry? What's to be done on this front? Stephen Oliver, Canna Consultants.
Good morning, everybody. How do you follow something as candid and as honest as that with the word consultant, which probably has as much stigma surrounding the word as the word cannabis? Grossly expensive people that come into a business and tell competent, experienced people how to do their jobs better. So where is the credibility? In 2010, my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, which is a disease of no hope. It's essentially a decline to a position where you're a baby weighing 50 to 60 kilos, approaching end of life, non-communicative. And my mother developed an additional condition called bruxism, which is the grinding of the teeth. And it was an audible grinding constantly. And I Googled, I'd never heard of this, and it's caused by stress and anxiety. So not only was my mother dying, and my father was there every day, in front of his eyes, you could hear and you could see the deterioration in the teeth. So I asked the medical profession what they would do, and the only solution was to remove all of my mother's teeth. So I went to the internet and I found cannabis and CBD. And that was probably in 2014, 15. And I couldn't find anywhere in the UK to get it. So I imported, as a consumer, from Holland, and I tried many brands. And on Thursday, 7th of November, is the second anniversary of my mother's death. And this morning, I Googled her obituary, which says she died peacefully. And she died peacefully because of CBD. So first and foremost, I'm a consumer. And I'm a believer in this incredible plant. But I'm also a seller, and I experienced many difficulties in trying to source a very high quality product. So I set about creating my own brand. And I'm not here to talk about my brand because of the problems the industry faces, that's not relevant. What is relevant is I thought I did all the right things. I got a nice clean brand. I disassociated it from the cannabis leaf. I went to America. I looked at the crops. I went to Oregon, I went to Kentucky. I considered things like organically handled, organically grown. I looked at GMO issues. I looked at heavy metals, and I created what I thought was a great product. So I started selling online in the UK. And that's when the problem started. Because as I stand here now, I sell an illegal product. I have people that call me, and they ring me, and they say, I've got arthritis in my knees. What would you suggest I take? And I'm not allowed to answer that question. I have approximately 1,300 competitors in the UK alone. And you can look at their websites, and if you believe what they say, CBD will cure everything from a broken leg to cancer. And when they pick the phone up, they say, you need our capsules. You need 25 milligrams a day. Our capsules are going to sort that arthritis out. And you need our balm. And then you look at the social media feed. And the social media feed talks about the benefits. But I'm not allowed to do that. Now, some of you will have seen Matthew Lawson yesterday. And Matthew is a serving barrister, 24 years experience. So Matt and I have a kind of an issue with my other company in the fact that he's in court most days and I'm breaking the law every day. So what are the issues that we face? Apart from the fact I can't tell people what my product can do, I also have an issue with regard to THC. There are trade associations in the United Kingdom that will tell you that you can have 0.2% THC in a product, or a product can contain a maximum of 1 milligram. Matt tells me that's not true. The 0.2% relates to the strains of hemp that you're allowed to grow. If you look at the hemp growers in the UK, none of them are allowed to use the most valuable part of the plant, they have to destroy the flowers and the buds. So all of the CBD raw material that I supply comes from outside of the UK. So I sell THC-free CBD, and my competitors talk about the entourage effect and how much better their product is. And I believe them, and I agree with them. And then, in January, the European Union tells me that my product is now unlawful and should be removed from the shelves because of the novel food classification. So I don't sell THC, now I'm actually not allowed to sell anything. So in my role as a businessman, commercially, I'm trying to find a European supplier who is willing to spend £200,000 to £400,000 on an open-ended process to try and achieve a classification for an extraction method for novel food. The problem with that is I've got isolate in one. I did have full spectrum, but I don't because I can't sell THC. So I have broad spectrum. I've got distillate. So does a manufacturer have to make a novel application for each particular extraction method? Or the fact that I'm using MCT oil or my delivery method alters that product? Does that mean that I, as a seller, have to make an application? And we don't know. I have a load of slides here that I was going to talk to you about, but I'm here all day and I'd love to engage with all of you. And something happened last night, and it was quite profound. Because I come from the United Kingdom, and there are 70 million people there. And I think at the moment 100 have access to medicinal marijuana. So the chances of me bumping into someone in the UK who's being treated by a medical professional are roughly the same as me winning the lottery. When I left here yesterday, there was a white Mercedes taxi parked outside, and I got into the taxi to go back to my hotel. And the guy said, "That's the cannabis conference, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He went, "I'm taking that." I went, "You're taking that?" He said, "Yeah." He pulled over and he got his phone out and he showed me. It was Bedrocan, and anyway, the conversation went as follows. I said, "So what are you taking it for?" He said, I have a tumour on my liver. I have cancer." So I walked from the conference, we pulled over, and I'm sitting with somebody who is taking medicinal marijuana. I got back to the hotel and I was telling my wife, and I thought, this is incredible. I took the guy's card. So I called Jimmy last night. I said, "Jimmy," I said, "do you mind me asking a few questions?" No problem. I said, where are you getting it?" He said, "It's from a Maltese doctor, I'm prescribed." I said, "This is incredible, Jimmy." I said, I'm actually speaking at the conference. Would you mind if I spoke to people about this?" He went, "No." He said, "Do you want me to come along?" I said, "That would be fantastic. It's tomorrow morning at 10:30. He said, "I can't, I've got my chemo." So Jimmy's having chemo now. But his car is going to be outside tomorrow. This is a true story. So this is his phone number. If you want a taxi, or you want to talk to someone who's actually using this, give Jimmy a ring. And then he said to me, he said, "Steve," he said, "will it work?" I thought, bloody hell, what a question. And in my mind, very quickly, I thought, okay, in my hat as a seller in the UK, I should say, "Jimmy, you know what? I can't answer that question." But I thought, as a human being, and I said to him, "I don't know, Jimmy." I said, "I think it will, and it certainly worked for my mum." So I shall share Jimmy's phone number with you. He will be there tomorrow, and I look forward to speaking to anybody and answering any questions that you have later on today. Thank you very much.